Going today. Hey, I want to talk about people that call me about speeding tickets and dumb tickets that you don't need to get. People that don't prevent things and they want to have a big problem before they ever give me a call instead of doing it the other way around. You know, researching, understanding the information that's out there and how that can assist you. If you see information and you just go do, like take your tags off your car and you just go drive or travel, and the police pull you over, and then you think you're going to reach down in your gut and you're going to explain to them and they can't do nothing, you got another thing coming. They can tow your car, they can tase you, they can do all these things to you because you never did the research to understand who you are and who you aren't, and how they label you. And basically they're going to treat you like an animal, and they're going to treat you like a second-class citizen. And the normal reaction that you may do when confronted by these tyrants can get you killed. So today's message really is to do your research, to do your study, and apply it. And don't injure people, but people that are in a situation, help them out and then understand what happened. When I first started this out over 40 years ago, I didn't really want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to injure anybody. And I really don't feel like I have injured anybody, because I give them the warnings and I say, you can only do these things and you can't go past that. You can't go down there messing with them. And if you take a video camera and you go, like on some of the videos on YouTube, and you go down to the police department and you record, you're going to get pushback, and they have guns. And I'm not saying I'm a sissy or nothing like that, but common sense tells you to don't go mess with people when you don't know what you're doing. I have people call me all the time and text me all the time, hey, what should I do? And then they go over with me the fact that there could be a warrant and it was an order from the judge and all these things. And they want me to basically tell them what I would do or give them advice, and I don't do that. There has to be safeguards, and people have to be, using their brain. And if you're going to get tickets, you better save some money. You better understand the best route to take. And, you can minimize the action against you. You can maximize the action against you. You can take a simple misdemeanor ticket and turn it into a felony. And then you can turn it into another felony. And you can end up in prison, because the actions you do and don't do determine the outcome. So the avoiding and not responding and laying documents on the table and things like that are basic ways that they get you. Because if you don't respond properly, or you avoid or you evade or whatever it is, you don't respond back timely, it causes another course of action from them, and it makes them be able to charge you with other things. Because if you lay things on the table and you don't respond, then you admit you did it under their rules. It's sorcery. There's really no laws. It's codes, ordinances, acts, and BS. Really. So the basic message is, do your due diligence and study and read the words and understand. Hell, get a group of people doing it. 2 or 3 or 4 heads are better than one every time. Doesn't matter how educated you are. because somebody's going to ask a dumb question, which really there is no dumb questions, and it's going to spark a debate, and then you're going to come up with the correct answer. You know, basic, simple things like reading the section and the footnotes and everything clear from the beginning of the section all the way to the next section. The little words and the numbers and all those are cases and decisions and things that are there for your research, but no one will ever go to research those things that will flat out tell you what you're looking for. So the basic things in life is start out at number one. Start out at the simplest thing you can start out at. Now, all these people that are looking to recoup money and to get money out of the system, you're going to have a long, hard road. I'm not saying it can't be done, because it can be done. But most people, you know, they want the silver bullet. That they want the most radical thing, thinking they're pissing them off. They probably are. You probably would be. But the thing about it is, you'll turn into a radical, you'll turn into a know-it-all. And no one knows it all. I've been at it almost 41 years, and I don't know it all. I stick to the basic, simple things. You know, if a process works and you find a process and you understand all the details and you go backwards to the beginning and then work your way forward and get the details and ask the questions, is the best way to do things. And write things down, keep things on flash drives and on your computer in a manner that you can understand. And then once you can understand everything, then there's a variance. You know, you can go a little this way and a little that way, and you can beat the system. But why would you want to? I mean, really, don't do anything wrong. Don't speed, because there's a reason why you shouldn't speed. There's a reason why you shouldn't run a stop sign. You may kill somebody, which you think you got problems with a ticket. You got problems when you kill somebody. There's going to be a big problem. Now, not everybody has that type of problem where they do something and it's very serious. You know, I get little petty calls or texting all day from someone that wants to use me against the system, you know, without doing any basic foundational stuff. You should do your research. You should look into things. You should talk to a few people and understand that time isn't free all the time. You know, I give out so much time for free, it's bizarre. You know, I have to shut my phone off in order to get sleep or to eat or go to the bathroom or do whatever it is. You know, I can't function during the day. People will start calling me at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, some people will call me at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, at night. It's trying, and, you know, you will have a lot of headaches and a lot of failures if you do too much too fast. And if you do your research, you're going to find out things. You know, I have people calling me about the Treasury. I have people calling me about the IRS. You really shouldn't even be messing with those people. I mean, if you find out a process and you did your research, now, I'm not talking about doing it for a month or two. You know, hell, I've done research on stuff for sometimes 20 years. You know, I had the 666 in my Social Security number, and I thought, you know, that's really the sign of the devil, you know, and I'm not going to hell for anyone. So I go to Social Security after 20 years, and I said, I want to go ahead and give you back this number because it has 666 right in the middle of it. And they agreed. And then they said, would I take a new number? And I said, well, I guess I would if it didn't have 666 in it. And I got my card approximately 7 or 8 days later that didn't have a 6 in it at all. But the point is, I waited 20 years. I investigated, I read, I looked at all the options. Just with changing your Social Security number, the options are, have you had identity theft? has someone stole your wallet, your purse, your ID, your social security card, or have they opened a checking account in your name and burn up all the checks? And basically started an investigation that looked like it was you, but it wasn't you. That happened to my brother many years ago. Someone had his ID somehow. They got his birth certificate, his social security card. They went down and got a state ID. We never did catch the person that did it. They had pictures of him and everything. So I did all this research and I found out there's all these evil numbers in different societies. If you had 8s in your number, there's actually a country, I can't remember which country it is, that if you had 8s in your number, that was an evil number. In the United States, if you have 13 in your number, that's an evil number. Some places, just depends on where you're from in the world, you can claim that, the devil's in your number or whatever, because these numbers have been deemed to be evil, So I found out that if you have domestic violence, if someone did domestic violence on the lady, and she had to move, and she had a husband that was a stalker, and she just couldn't get away from him, Social Security will change your number and your children's number. So doing research is how I found that out. But I stewed on it for a while, and I looked at everything I could, and I found Social Security's policy that said under certain circumstances you could change your number. And I thought, well, what are those circumstances? So after some years of studying and reading and finding out different things, I realized there was all of these options, and I was very aware the day I walked into Social Security that they had to give me a number according to their policy. And I let them explain it to me. I didn't explain it to them. I just said I would like to return this, and she was so shocked. She said she had worked there over 30 years and she never seen anyone ever do that. She had to go in the back and talk to whoever the head lizard in the back was, or she went back and made a phone call. She came back with these documents, and I signed them saying I would never disclose that number to anyone ever, and I would use the other number. And she shredded my card right in front of me in a shredder and said my number was now retired. So I found the proper procedure. I broke no laws, and I did it just as an example of what someone is capable of. Now, you're capable of doing anything on a massive scale to find out information. I've written libraries before in every state, the main libraries in the head capital. I've written the BMVs in every state, including Hawaii. I've found information sources. I was looking for a friend from high school one time, just to give you a basic idea of what I'm saying here. Anything is possible. I heard that my friend lived in Dallas, Texas, and hadn't seen him for 20-some years. Hell of a good friend. So I called Dallas, Texas main library and asked them, can you look in the city directory and county directory for this person? Wasn't even 10 minutes they called me back. They had the person's information because of the census. The city directory and the county directory is why there's a census. Well, there's other things, but the main thing is they do a book called the city directory or the county directory, depending on if you live outside the city limits. A lot of times your phone number, where you work, your address, and things like that are listed in these directories. And I just called the city that I believed he lived in and said at the library, and I said, can you please help me? Can you look in these 2 books to see if you can find this person's name? He's a friend from high school. And damned if they didn't come back and they found the guy. And I called him up and it was his phone number. And he was like, how the hell did you get my phone number? All of that stuff is public. There's so much good information out there for whatever it is you're researching that it's bizarre. If you want documents to put into a court case, or if you want notices to put into a court case, you can type all that in the internet and probably find it, or someone that speaks about it that you can speak to. It's really out there. But what happens is people call me, they did zero research. They don't even know how to research. And they never did anything. They want me to tell them everything, and they want me to spend my time for free. And after a while, when you put your phone number on YouTube, it will make you absolutely crazy, because people will call you with the dumbest stuff. Yes, everything is important, and yes, I can learn a lot of stuff for it, and I do put a lot of time into it for free. And I hope that the videos, and right now I think this is number 165 videos that I have on YouTube. So I didn't start this yesterday. I don't injure people. Sometimes they assume things that it's not correct. I get into arguments with people all the time, them wanting me to do things that put myself in a liability position, and I can't do that. And I do try to help out everybody that I can, and there's just a whole bunch of things I have to understand first, and I don't get paid for that. I don't get donations most of the time for that. Someone just to give me a donation randomly almost never happens. And it makes it difficult for me to continue, because I have to suffer, and I have to make money somewhere, but yet I still give my time for free. Now, I'm just like everyone else. I want the inside information, and the only way you can get the inside information is to do due diligence, put your time into it, chew it over with a few friends, look at the wording, understand what it's saying, and then see where that takes you. Just getting an idea, pulling the tags off your car, and going and driving, or traveling, whatever you want to say, is really the wrong thing to do. You should be well versed in what you're doing and why you're doing it. Yes, license is for commercial use only, but your name is commercial, and they can get you. It doesn't matter if it's legal or illegal. If they say it's illegal and you don't rebut it properly and you don't know what you're saying, then they're going to get you. It's designed that way, to beat shitheads and radicals. And if you get too crazy, they're going to say that you're crazy. They're going to give you a mental institution, visit, and they can label you sovereign, and then they can shoot you. But if you don't understand what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. You should prevent problems. And if you end up in some situation, and at least you have some idea what to say and what to do and how to defend yourself. Even better, you could put yourself into a position by filing the legal documents that upgrade yourself or protect you or get you a do not detain, if you've seen some of my videos. Now, I put a lot of time and effort in this, and yes, I do charge a donation. But when you stop and think about it, if you're going to play this game with the people that are carrying guns, you better know what you're doing. And you better have things together. And you can't be a radical. You have to be a sentient being. You have to not injure anyone. You have to use your head and do business properly, or don't do business at all. Okay? There's gray areas in there. If you don't study and you don't really look at everything, then you can't understand what I'm saying. But you should put your time into it. I used to put an hour, 2 hours a day during the winter because I was inside the house, and then it would turn into 5 or 6 hours per day. And then look at how many hours that would be per year. Now in the spring and the summer and the fall, I get out and try to do things and walk and stay healthy and things like that. It's just a method to this. Understanding is going to bend your mind. It's going to stress you that you're going to put your money into these things, and you're going to do the mailing, and you're going to understand how these people are trained is very vital. How is an attorney trained? How is a police officer trained? How is a judge trained? You know, all of those things is knowing your enemies. Or maybe they're not your enemies. Maybe what's inside you or not inside you is something you need to fix to understand yourself, to be in honor with yourself, to be loyal and friendly and being in honor and always trying to do the right thing, but not being in control, letting the system be in control of you. You can be in control of you. That's what this is about, is do the basic things, honor yourself, do what's right. If what's right means that you're going to travel and you're going to have a special tag and you're going to notify the proper people and you're going to do the proper procedure to do that, then fine. But just to go get a DUI and then just keep driving and driving and driving and driving until they get you, you know, and you're going to jail week after week after week and you're losing your cars, you know, all this stuff, you better take into account the money factor, because this is going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you your job, your family, your children, your home, if you don't do things the proper way and you don't slow way down. If you don't slow way down and use your head, and basically this should be a spiritual thing if you're doing the correct thing. You shouldn't want to be out there arguing and fighting with the police. You shouldn't be down there videoing them and trying to cause a problem thinking you know everything, because you don't. It's flat out that simple. So those are my thoughts for today. I hope you get some insight from the things I'm trying to tell you, and I hope that you have peace in your mind, body, and soul. We'll talk to you soon.